about to kiss that person, right? Think of it in your mind's eye. Everybody got a picture of that? I mean, the first real one, right? Picture that. Picture that in your mind's eye, right? Picture it. You can see it in your mind. It's clear as day. Your palms are sweating. Your heart is doing major issues, right? You got major problems. And you can feel it in your stomach. Your chest is tightening up. But you know what the weird thing is what happened? You did it anyway. Didn't you? Didn't you do it anyway? Maybe you even chickened out once or twice. Did you? How many of you were going to do it and you decided not to? You opted out. You went for one of these. Or you were looking at them and you're hearing your internal dialogue and you're going to kiss them and they go, is something wrong? Are you okay? I was just going to repeat that. Scary. There's almost nothing that's scary. But we did it anyway. But what happened once you did it? You're like, I'm going to do that again. Can I do it again now? How about now? Can we do it now? How about now? And what happened? Your lips, by the end of the day, were all red. Red lips like this. And maybe your neck even. You're running out of facial real estate to kids. Right? But what did you worry about? You worried about what? You worried about everything, right? You know, I don't know, from a guy's perspective, the big one is that you're going to get slapped in the face or knee in the groin. One of those two things is not good. It's called adding insult to injury, or injury to insult, however you want to look at it, right? I mean, you can get dissed as a guy, or like, oh, no, I don't see you that way. You know, I mean, there's all kinds of bad things that can happen, right? Or, you know, maybe from the girl's perspective, you know, I hope I don't have something in my teeth. I hope we don't clang teeth when we can. Don't clang teeth, don't clang teeth, don't clang teeth. You know, right? Oh my gosh, I hope he doesn't stick his tongue down my throat like an animal. That could be bad, right? I mean, all these fears and all these things come up. And my brother, right? But you know what happened was, we spent so much energy thinking about our breath and our teeth and our nose, and I turned my head and my hair and yeah. But bottom line is, all we had to do was lean in and kiss. And you know how fast all those worries went away? That fast, right? Then it was like, game on. I mean, he's not that great at kissing, but this is still pretty good. Right? Facing the fear. I mean, imagine if you hadn't faced that fear, if you just decided to hold on to that fear for all these years. Imagine what you would have missed. There's other stuff that comes after the kiss. So, the fear of the unknown, that's a big one. And man, it locks people up. It keeps them freaked out. They never even, you know, if you never went into to try something new. Now, when you feel that feeling, the best advice you get from me today, when you feel that feeling in your stomach, and your breathing starts getting shallow, your mouth starts getting dry, and your heart is beating like crazy, you can hear it in your own ears. Take a deep breath and lean into that feeling. Just lean into it. Recognize it's there and lean into it. I'm telling you. And don't open too much. You don't want to do that. Okay? Keep your tongue halfway in your mouth. Okay. You got to face the fears. Disappointment. Pain is a big one. Look, people fear pain all the time. Pain is good. Pain lets you know when you're going to get hurt, but it also is the same indicator for growth. Same indicator for if you're going to get hurt is you're going to have growth. But that's why you have this. I cannot go to the gym. If I go to the gym and I get me a workout and the next day I'm not sore, I'm a little pissed. Right? When Mike Burns asked Mike, tell Mike to take his shirt off. Mike, take your shirt off. Magic Mike. I don't even know what I was talking about, though. I don't even know what I was Okay, so the point is that if you don't have pain, then there's no gain. There's no pain, no gain. Think of the best times in your life. Like I said, the kiss is a great example. Whew, talk about the pain, but the payoff is pretty amazing, right? Man, you remember the first time you were down at the river with your friends? And your friends are jumping off into the river, and they're, woo! Yeah, it's awesome, you gotta come. And you're like, yeah, I'm totally gonna do this. This is awesome. No, I'm not. Right. And you're standing there, man. And you stand there and stand there, you'll do this right here. Nope. You do that and you'll torture yourself. How many of you sat on that ledge? You stood there for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. Your friends are all cannonball. They're flying by you and jumping off. Calais doing triple backflips. Literally, she said it. And you're still standing there, and now what's happening? You're starting to feel like, man, but pretty soon you realize, if they can do it, I can do it. Right? So you look for evidence around you. Your rational brain starts to take over and says, if they couldn't do it, math problem, if they can logic, if they can do it, I can do it. If they can do it, I can do it. No problem. I'm scared, but I know for sure I'm going to do this dang thing because I don't want to be humiliated. I don't want to be embarrassed. Humiliation, embarrassment, those are all things, but those are positive motivators here, right? So, eventually, what do? Oh my God. And right that moment, you're right there in midair, and you go, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done? And then, you hit the water, you come out, you're like, yeah, no big deal. Inside, you're like, and then the next person comes to the cliff, you're like, come on, it's awesome! Right? But we waste all that time, and in some case, decades, to finally join the ones that have had the success. To give yourself permission. How soon could you have faced the fear? You could have done it like that. If you face a small fear and face tons of small fears, it's shown. And the way to overcome snakes, the fear of snakes, is continually approaching snakes. And what happens is that response inside your body will get deadened. It gets numb. All of a sudden you realize, you start to associate, I did touch that snake. I was scared to death, but I did it. And there's a sense of pride that comes with that. True? Yes. Next time you go to kiss somebody, hold on. Darren, I have a snake right here. But the second time you went to kiss somebody, you were still nervous, weren't you? But you carried with you something, didn't you? What'd you carry with you? Huh? Experience. What else? What emotion did you carry? Confidence. What else? Love. Sure, all that good stuff. Now you have a little bag of tricks. Next kiss is like, I'm going in, moving the head to the right. Keeping the tongue back, won't take lips. Here we go. Boom! And you kiss it, and it's over. Pretty soon you're like, no problem. You're talking like the Bible. them by the head. Come here. Mwah. And one for you. Mwah, mwah. That was a bonus one. So you get that by experience. You get that by tackling those little fears. You get the little fears first, and then you get confidence. And you associate facing the fear with success, confidence. All those positive attributes that just came out of the first one. Jump off again, no problem. Some people have been mastering fear so long, they get a rush out of it. They realize that how much freedom comes in every area of their life because nothing scares them anymore. Somebody says, I've got an opportunity for you to buy a house. There's $100, $1,000 worth of profit in it. It only costs $500,000. Everybody knows that's a good deal. That's an amazing deal. But you know what most people do? They dwell on it. $500,000. Next time I get $500,000, if I get $500,000, what would I do? If it didn't work out, that's going to destroy my credit. Meanwhile, Capistrano's over there. Boom, he bought it already. You're going, shoot. Right? So how do you do it? You go out there and you tackle one for $60,000. You tackle one for $100,000. You do a couple of those. The next one comes up for $500,000. You jump on it. You take that house. You go for it. It's a calculated risk. You know there's risk, but you're not afraid because you know why? You can do it again and again and again and again. You've already done it before. But you've got to take that first step. You've got to take that first step. You've got to give that first wild part of yourself. You've got to say, you know what? I'm going to watch my coach do 2 for me. I'm going to watch my business partner do 2 for me, and then I'm going to do the third one. I'm going to knock this thing out of the park. And I don't care if I suck in the beginning. I was horrible, terrible. I'm still not that great. But it doesn't matter. I realize my rational brain takes over. Even if I'm bad, the people sitting there think, if he can do that, I can do this too. It works to my advantage. Instead of sitting there and thinking about it and worrying about it in every possible scenario that could go wrong, I'm just focused on what I'm going to do and move forward, move right. Misery, loneliness, rejection. The fear of loneliness, guess what it's going to make you? Lonely. You're afraid of being lonely? Yeah. Okay. It's gonna lock you up and you're going to sit on your couch, or you can go out and face the fear. You can go out and meet some people. Rejection. Everybody in this world is afraid of rejection. Human beings are social people. You're not made to connect with every single person on the planet. You're not. You're not supposed to be friends with everybody. Not everybody's supposed to like you. I promise you, there's people in this room right now listening to me talking. They're going, this guy, he's not for me. He's not my cup of tea. I need someone. I like someone a little more conservative, a little more professional. I promise you, there's something like that. But you know what? It's supposed to be that way. Because I'm connecting on a high level with some other people. We bring another speaker in here next time, John Malott. He's going to appeal to an entirely different group. And we all bring something valuable to the table. It's okay. Rejection is natural. It's okay. Okay? Okay? Okay. Ridicule, people getting made fun of. So much of what we have, it comes from our childhood. We carry baggage with us that no longer has anything in it. There's no content to it. You see a girl and she's a bombshell. She's gorgeous. You look at her and you're like, oh my gosh, if I had legs like that. Or if you're a guy, oh my gosh, if I had legs like that. And you're thinking, man, this person, and they're so unapproachable. And then you get to know them and you realize that they're super self-conscious. And they're super worried about being ridiculed because when they were teenagers, they were tall and skinny and they had braces and they were gangly and everybody was making fun of them. Now they look like they walked off a Vogue magazine, but they're still carrying baggage from when they were young. They're still carrying baggage. You've overcome so much in your life. If you just sit down and write down, when it comes to ridicule, when it comes to failure, when it comes to rejection, sit down and write down all the positive things. Write down everything positive about the situation, everything negative. About the snakes, I was talking about earlier. You've been walking around with this fear for all these years. You've seen a total of 20 snakes, so the chances of you seeing them is very, very small. You might see one snake every other year, okay? Every other year you may see a snake, and they never bite you. Never. We know that. And they've never, the odds of you being killed by one is 0, since there are no poisonous snakes in this part of Oregon. Okay. They're also in the Amazon, Jerry, but that's not what we're going to do. Okay. So, and even those ones are not aggressive. They don't want to come after you. They want to get away from you. The chances of it happening are so small. The chances of being of a meteor hitting the planet's almost as good. You know what I mean? Unless you're looking for the opportunity. Even if they did bite you. Even if they did bite you. You have stubbed your toe into a couch harder than it would hurt if you got bit by that snake in the first place. So when we start to rationalize, we start to think about it, the amount of energy that we give, it's literally the picture of the elephant in the cartoon, standing on all 4 feet like this on a chair, while the little mouse runs around. That is us and our fears. And if we can take our fears and we can put them off in the distance, it'll help us. Okay, let's move on. Breakthrough and overcoming fear. You gotta believe. You have to believe. It's very hard to believe when the thing that keeps us from belief is fear, right? Does that make sense? The thing that keeps us from belief is fear. If it's not proven to you, if you don't know it, if you're not solid about it, how do you believe? This conference coming up in Orlando is entitled Believe. It's about building your belief in yourself, building your belief about your future, what you can do, the people you can help. Being at that with the top minds, the best trainers in the world, being there, it will change every facet of your life, not just your secret business. It'll change your marriage, it'll change your friendships, it'll change the way you raise your children. Fear often comes from the unknown. Knowing that we lack skill makes us afraid. So, let's just say, you're going to go into your first wow party, right? And you're scared to death to do it? The reason you're scared is because you don't know if you have the skill, or you know that you don't have the skill. You feel truly that you don't have it. How do you get the skill? That's it, by doing it. So there's a gap that we have to cross there. You know what that's called? That's called faith. It's called leaning into that feeling of being afraid and doing it anyway. Jared says, you know what, we need you to come up and give a testimonial. We need you to come up and how many of you are scared to death? If you had to do the presentation I'm doing today, you would rather, kiss a goat. How many? Anyone? Okay. With the tongue. I mean, really, you would okay. Ask yourself these questions. You've got to get to the root of it. Sorry. Okay. Why have I stalled in the past? What is holding me back? How can I achieve excellence instead of good? It's a big one. I watch this all the time. It's so fascinating to me. It's so fascinating. I see people that tell me, I want to make $1 million a year. And I watch them get up to their income level and then stop. And then stop. They stall. Whatever they thought was their high point, they back away from further success. They're afraid of success. How many of you think you might be one of those people afraid of success? You literally put roadblocks in front of yourself. You literally get to the place where you're doing better than you've ever done before, and you start throwing, you know you're doing it. I mean, on some level, you know you're trying to screw yourself up. Right? It's like you're in a race, and you get under your own hood of the car and throw a wrench in there while no one's looking, and then close the thing. Why? Why are you afraid? So you got to ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Why have I stalled? What's going on? Seek counsel. Seek people that are leaders that, hey man, I want to make this thing happen. Something's going on. I'm caught up. I don't know what it is. Okay? Why do they do better than me? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. When you see other people that are doing better than you in a shorter period of time, you think, I'm not as good as them. I'm not as valuable as them. What's wrong with me? Why am I not? How come they can do better? And you're so competitive, it's bad for you. You cannot compare yourself to other people. It's like trying to compare country music and reggae. They both have notes and instruments, but they're completely different. It's a different message, a different feel. It's just different. You can't compare yourself. You're unique. You bring something that's never been seen on the planet before to the table. You have something unique. You're as unique as your fingerprint, as unique as a snowflake. You are the one and only ever that has ever been and that ever will be that is you. That's it. And nobody anywhere on the planet can be you as good as you can. Nobody can. You hold that in your arsenal. And once you start to say, you know what, that's pretty good. I can be me. I can be a really good me. I wonder what the best me would look like. I wonder what the best, if I was in super shape, if I had lots of energy. I wonder what it would be like if I was positive all the time. I wonder what it would be like if I was really being the leader I could be. If I smiled twice as much, how would I be then? Think about those things. Here's the last one. What can I do to get my spouse to support me?
Bring him flowers?
It's also fearful. It holds people back. We feel like if I succeed, I might leave my spouse behind, or if I try, my spouse is trying to talk me out of it. I wanted to throw this one in there just because it's important. You know, I'll tell you something. If you have a spouse that's not supportive, here's what I want you to do. You go to your spouse without saying a word, and the first $500 that you make each month, you just give it to them. And when they go, what's this? You go, that's the money from Secret. And I don't want you cannot spend it on, I'm giving it to you, but with a string attached. You cannot spend it on bills or kids or me. You have to go spend it on yourself. You have to do something. I want you to go buy whatever, just electronics, or I want you to go buy, you know, the prettiest dress you can think of, best looking shoes, Louis Vuitton purse, I don't care, just go buy whatever you want. I want you to go blow it. $500 a month, and you just hand it to him, and you say, the first $500 I make every month coming to you. Or you just give them the $500 and wait till next month, come back and give them another $500. And they'll do two things. Number one, they'll be on your side instantly. And number two, it's going to make you bust your hiney even harder so that you can get past 500 pounds. But how many of you think that won't solve the problem? There's a Bible verse that says, the feast is made for laughter and the wine makes merry, but money answers everything. It's true. All right. I want you to watch this video real quick. Somebody grab the lights for me. How many know Bear Grylls?
I think fear is something I've learned to live with a lot. I think you're not human if you don't feel a little bit nervous. You're dealing with big crocodiles, snakes, or free